AJ.
Hi.
This is Ari. He didn't want to talk, so he wanted me to come on. But I actually, when I first heard about this case, I was contacted by a friend of mine. His name is Chris. Apparently, he knew Jesse. Jesse kind of spun the story, basically saying her boyfriend had been like wrongly convicted. And I work with the Innocence Project. I'm one of the attorneys there. I thought, okay, we take one case a year, and this is getting a lot of media attention. So I ended up like looking into it a little bit. But she sent me so many fabricated case files. Like, it was just ridiculous. Like, it was so photoshopped. And then as I got to know everything, I figured out this guy is definitely guilty. Meeting him in person, meeting his family and friends, like, no one thinks he's innocent. And he admitted to it. And not only that, his story does not make any sense.
Wait, so how did you meet the family? Like, that he introduced you to his adoptive
Yeah, he was
parents?
going to retain us as his attorneys. And I met his adoptive parents, and I met I think it was his sister or his sister-in-law or something. No, it was a sister. Yeah, I met her. She's like a she's like an X-ray doctor or something like that, or something.
So Whitney.
I'm sorry?
The older sister, Whitney.
Yes, her. I met her, and I was like, just basically trying to get them as like to come on as like, possible witnesses or character witnesses. And they basically told me, they would not be character witnesses for him because they had nothing good to say about him. And I guess like basically what happened was Wade was like continuously calling me. And I mean, I don't even like, me like 20, 30 times a day. And I like was very like confused because I don't get that close to clients. And I kind of like started trying to put it off on my one of my partners. And my partner basically said that he requested me like personally to be on the case. So that's when I went to go and meet him in person. And it was like it was a video visit. Like you couldn't like see him like, face to face or anything like that. It was just by video. But this guy he's such like a psychopath, and he's like so perverted. He literally like started jerking off in front of me. And so after that, I had like had it, and I told Jessie about everything. And she, of course, accused me of being a liar. This guy has got her so he's got her so fooled. And he told me, he was like, yeah, he's like, I don't really want to be with her. I want to be, he's like, I don't want to marry her. He's like, she just basically helps me financially since the Fundley's happened. He's like, I'm thinking about letting her go.
Okay, wait, I have a quick question, AJ. You sound a lot like Jesse's sister.
No, I'm not, but I actually know her name's Kaylee, right? Because I talked to her too.
Yeah.
And not only that, I can prove, they sent me their credit card numbers. I got pictures of Jesse's license because she's power of attorney for him. I can send you all of that if you want. And I'll have to block out her address, but I can send you all of that.
Do trailers have
You're based in
addresses?
Florida?
I'm sorry, what?
You're based in Florida?
No, I live in Los Angeles.
This is Ari, you said, right? You're not AJ?
Yeah, my name is Ari.
Okay, and you said that you worked for the Innocence Project yourself?
Yeah, I do. I initially, I don't want to give out too much information because I don't want to be tied to these people. I'm a pretty well-known public figure, and due to the things that I did for a living and now what I do, I work for the Innocence Project. I'm an attorney. I'm licensed in Florida, Massachusetts, New York, and California. And basically what I do is I sponsor the Innocence Project and help assist on cases. So that's how I kind of started getting into it. I've been doing this for about 5 years now, and the whole thing with Wade, it happened back in August. I didn't even know who he was. I was contacted by Jesse's friend Chris because we had a mutual friend.
Gotcha. And Chris is the boyfriend that Wade had, right? Is that the same Chris, or is this a different Chris?
Probably, because Chris is gay.
Okay, very good. Okay, we're good. So are you still currently with the Innocence Project?
Yeah. I am, but after me and my partners reviewed everything, they basically were like, yeah, we can't make a case for him. He's literally already admitted it, and the reason he's trying to say they coerced his confession does not make any sense. Like, why would this organization that he worked for suddenly just go out and kill 2 random people because they didn't want him to take the girls and move to Hawaii or wherever they were going to go? That absolutely makes no sense. That's not any reason to just kill 2 random people. Why not kill Wade? Why not, kill his girlfriend? Like, why would you just pick 2 random people?
Hold on. AJ, can you just say unalive?
I'm sorry, unalive. I'm sorry.
Yeah, TikTok is very sensitive with its wording and so forth. So,
I see.
Yeah, that's the only reason. Okay, awesome. Yeah, if there's any information that you'd like to share with us or anything like that, especially we do want to protect your privacy as well.
Yeah.
So anything that you'd like to send over to us, again, you're more than welcome to reach out to Coral or any of us here on the panel.
Yeah.
And send that information over to us, whatever you'd like. But the reason why you were coming out today and speaking was mostly because of, you mentioned that Wade was like obsessed with you specifically, right? Is that what AJ was saying?
I mean, that's what he was like trying to imply. And basically, like, when I heard him like saying like flirtatious stuff like that, I just started kind of like egging him on because I was recording him as well. And I wanted to show Jessie because like the way she contacted me, she was like, oh yeah, we're getting married. We're just waiting for the approval for the jail to allow us to get married because Lee County Jail does not allow inmates to get married there. She's like, we're waiting till he moves to death row to get married. And I was like, oh, great. But because this was before I knew the whole story. And like, I actually felt bad for this girl because recordings, and she was like, you're a liar. I mean, it was on record. Like, she knows it was his voice, but she's just in such denial. Like, I really don't get it. And I've heard that she is already legally married, so I don't know how that's going to work. And I've also heard that she has multiple children too.
But I have a question. You're not allowed to record in jail. So how did you actually do that?
I'm an attorney. I can record phone calls.
But you're not his attorney.
Yes, I was. At one point I was. I have like multiple documents where he signed and Jessie signed because she has his power of attorney. She gave me permission to record everything.
What's the timeline?
I'm sorry?
What's the timeline? This was before the sentencing?
Yes, it was right before the sentencing. I was contacted on August the 2nd, and the first time I spoke with Wade was August the 5th, and Jessie and Wade signed the papers and faxed them back to me on the 7th. And by the 13th, I was done with the case because I had went to Florida to meet him in person. I went to Tennessee to meet his adopted parents, and I could not find one character witness that would say one good thing about him. Like, I mean, I just thought maybe because they were his family, they might be able to say some good things about him. Or, I even told him, I was like, your best bet to get off of death row is to claim a mental illness. And he was like, no, I'm not mentally ill. And like, I mean, they were trying to claim that all through the first trial. And I mean, he's just like, I don't want to condemn anybody, but even after the fact that I told them I wasn't going to take the case, that's what really upset Jessie a lot as well. And then she was like, oh, you're flirting with my fiance. I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. I'm engaged. Sorry. But she was just like constantly harassing and calling me. And it was really, really strange. But like, I can back up everything I'm saying. I can send you the calls. I can send you, because like now, like that I'm no longer his attorney, it can be public information.
Duty happened.
Yeah, definitely send that over because I'm very curious to hear and we all know Wade's voice, so we'd be able to tell right away. But we're definitely like, not saying that you're lying, but like we're a receipt type people because there's been some crazy people coming out the woodwork. Mm-hmm. But we definitely want to protect you. We see how crazy you live in these streets.
A couple of people have told me that there was calls that came out, I guess, yesterday that was like mentioning my name. I don't know if they're going to release the calls like between him and I, but like you guys, I mean, it's pretty much like the same thing, the same calls that I've got. But yeah, I have power of attorney, I have a Jessie where she signed for power of attorney for Wade. I have multiple documents, and Jessie sent me her ID and everything like that. I wouldn't be able to get any of that information if I, wasn't telling the truth.
Yeah, true.
That's very true.
Definitely very jealous.
She's very jealous. And then she contacted like several of like my friends on social media trying to like badmouth me, saying like I was like using them for publicity. I'm like, yeah, I'm way more successful and way more well known than you guys. Like that's funny because like Wade is famous for being a killer. That's not good notoriety. That's all he's famous for.
I have a question. So are you even allowed to be on a TikTok live discussing all this though?
Yeah,
I mean,
because I'm no longer his attorney. I never signed a cease. I never signed, I never signed any type of document saying that I can't talk about the case or I can't write a book about the case or anything like that. I never did anything like that. And I did everything on my end. I ended our contract. I basically gave him, a notice saying that we were not going to take his case anymore. I sent it to him. I sent it to Jesse. And I even, I was even trying to be nice about it. And I was like, hey, I can give you a couple of names of attorneys that may take the case, but they were just too bitter and too upset. And they were like begging me not to announce it publicly because they didn't want it to look even more guilty on him.
I also have a question for you, Ari, if I may.
Yeah.
For any of the shady stuff that you witnessed and that you were made aware of, I mean, aren't you mandated to report some of that stuff to like law enforcement or?
Well, at the time, I'm not mandated to because at the time I witnessed the shady stuff and, all the things that were, going on. I was technically his attorney, so I didn't have to report it. But now I could report it if I want to because I'm no longer his attorney. But like I said, I just wanted to be like completely out of it and disassociated with these people. I did, however, have to contact the police in Tennessee because that's where Jesse lives, and I had to contact them, telling them, I want her to stop harassing and calling me and things like that, and they did send her a warning.
Hey, Judy.
Hi, DaniMarie.
Hey, thanks for letting me join.
You're welcome, Judy.
So I have a couple of questions for this guest that you have here that claims to be an attorney.
Yeah.
Wade Wilson was represented by the public defender's office. At
Right.
what point did you sign a retainer and become a defense attorney for Wade Wilson? When was that? When did that happen?
August the 7th, because he was ending his relationship with, and he actually, he had us send Lee Hollander a letter officially ending their client relationship. And
Let me just stop you just for a second right here. I've been around courts my entire career, 30 years in law enforcement, and never have I heard a defense attorney who represented a client breach that attorney-client privilege of keeping their information private. How are you on a TikTok right now talking with a bunch of women about Wade Wilson, a convicted double murderer? How are you doing that? And you don't know Barry.
because I'm not his attorney now.
I'm friends with Martin Tankliff, and I'm actually going to get him on the phone, and I'm going to get him in here on this live, and you're going to identify yourself to him because you're telling everybody here that you're aligned with the Innocence Project. I call bullshit. I think
Okay.
you're so full of shit that you should probably stop talking right now.
It sounds like you're a little bit butthurt over the situation.
Oh no, I'm not butthurt. I know a phony when I hear one, and you are
Okay.
a phony, my friend.
Well, I guess the paperwork and all of the IDs that I have and all the signatures.
The bullshit you're spewing here is laughable.
Okay,
What you're
well, I'll
spewing
get
here is
I'll get
laughable.
off the live right now and send it to you right now.
You need to go. You need to go because you're so full of shit that it's not even funny.
AJ, feel free to message me so that we can receive those documents via Telegram, okay? Or Ari, I mean. Oh, I don't know if she.
And she's gone.
She's still on.
Oh,
No, she's there. He's gone. He bounced out.
Yeah, Judy Ron left.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm saying. We don't have any documentation. So this guy, that's what he does. He's a retired military or retired NYPD detective. So he has a lot of background. So that's why he's going a little extra hard. And that's why I say definitely come with receipts so we can take a look at that and clear that up. Because with receipts, obviously we can't determine anything based on word,